All right, good afternoon, traders. It's 4 p.m. It's market close on Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. Let's go take a look at the market. All right, so we had a 10-minute downtrend. This is on a 15-minute chart, but we're going to change it to a 10. And you can see here's the 10. If you manage that on the 15, you can see you catch the second drop. And then you can see now here's the 10, the 3 crossing back up over the 8 here. Now, when we were down here, I notified traders that, hey, look out, watch for the bullish engulfing. You can see it right there on 224 on this candle right there. So you watch this for the bullish engulfing. So we'll hit the 10-minute chart. And you can see here's your bullish engulfing right there. And I kind of had a hunch it was going to do that because we're right into these prior lows right here. You can see bulls bought this candle back up. See the bullish engulfing there. And then you've got, if you squeeze the price action together there, you got more bullish engulfing. So again, more bullish engulfing coming out of this buy box, which happened to be our first target. We nailed that on the first drop. We were looking for the second one, but it rallied all the way back to the downtrend line and then hung out there for about an hour and a half, and then before finally fading back down to the first target area once more. So that was our trade today, buying puts to go back into this and possibly down into here. And we came close. You can see the candles were ready to spike down in here. Just couldn't get any follow through. The FNGU kind of held things up. So we'll go take a look at that after. But let's take a look at the markets and pull up some charts. There we go. All right. So we're watching the video for a like a 4-hour MMRP. 1, 2, 3. See, igniting candle, pause candle, pull back to support, and then we'll look for 3 more follow through on the 4-hour chart for follow through on the video on the MMRP. That would be the bullish MMRP right there. Then you can see here's price action. I think that for NVIDIA, that's an all-time high. Yeah, that is. So we'll go back to the daily chart. So we're watching this for, on the 4-hour, we're watching this for a MMRP back to the support area, and then look for it to travel back up through there. So there's NVIDIA. That's looking good. We'll take a look at SPY. All right, so here's SPY. We came out with a channel, and we'll look at that on the daily chart first. And you can see we got a lower high and a lower low. So they're chasing this. See this breakup candle right there? So they're chasing that down right now. So we'll see what happens. But we've got a wedge materializing right through here. And I'll show you the wedge. Just going to back out a little bit. Okay, so you've got 1, 2 peaks there. And you've got this low attached with this low. And you can see right there you got a rubber band candle. Looked like it was going to break. And then price action came back up through it. So a revisit back to VWAP there. Looking for price action to probably come back up here to this 475, 77 area. We'll see what happens. There's SPY for tomorrow. See if it can recover and stay inside this channel for breaking out. So what we got is a lower high right here. And they tried to produce a lower low. All right, because we got a lower high here, and they produced a lower low. And now we got another lower high here, and they produced another lower low right here. So now we're waiting to see how this plays out, whether we're going to get another lower high or if in fact they're going to break through these wicks up here. So you can see those sellers are up there. You can see the wicks on that. Now if you look at this on 10-minute chart, I'm going to point something out to you. So you can see we've got on the 10-minute chart, I'm going to get my arrows. You got a bearish engulfing here, a bearish engulfing there, and now we're starting our descending wick pattern or the bearish engulfing. So now we got a lower high and another lower high and another lower high and another lower high. See how things are starting to come down through here? So we're looking for this to flush this way. We'll see what happens, but that's what's developing. It doesn't mean that this is going to happen to the downside, but it is setting up on the bigger time frame to flush to the downside. Now keep in mind, this market is still very much bullish, all right? Just because that is setting up doesn't mean that it's going to play out. So I've got two anchored VWAPs. I've got one on the most recent low, which is down here, 466.95. And I've got one on the most recent high, which is up here, 478.41. So you can see price action for today, ping pong back and forth between the two. Came down, ping pong back up, came back down to here, and you can see price action looking like it wants to shoot back up to 475.50. So it's just ping-ponging back and forth between these two anchored VWAPs. Now, the question is will the market find this to be of great value? We'll have to take a look at XLF. We want to keep an eye on that. But you can see we've had a lot of financials report on Friday, and a whole lot more are going to report this week. So we'll see if price action is going to make it all the way back up to here. So there's the SPY on the daily chart, okay, still in an uptrend. Why? Because it made a higher low, and it inked out barely a higher high up there. So we're looking for this to produce a more significant, substantial, higher high. We'll watch for this pullback to hold and then bounce back up through later this week. Again, we don't have anything on the economic calendar that's going to cause that. And I don't see a whole lot in the financial sector that's going to cause that either. So I'm curious how it's going to happen, if it happens, or if it might not even happen. It might just, fade back down and test the low again, consolidate, in a bull flag up here. So there's SPY. We don't have any really big catalyst out there because Goldman Sachs reported this morning. JP Morgan Chase reported last Friday. Friday, that'd be, this past weekend. And there's not a lot of big ones that are going to move the market. The big ones are the Google, the Microsoft, the Amazon, all the big cap, big boys, Baidu, all of those. Those have the capability of moving the market. Apple, there's another big one. They can move the markets around. But we're not getting that right now. But keep in mind, they just went through a 2-month rally up here. And, they have not had a substantial pullback to minor support. And it's long overdue. So whether they report good or bad, a pullback to test minor support should be on the books and ready to be. It needs to be checked off I think, before we make new highs. But we'll see what happens. The all-time high for SPY is 480. Well, really 479.98, so a couple pennies from the all-time high. And you can see we've been up there quite close. Here's the high for this day right here was 478.60. All right, so we came so close, and there's really like no reason why they couldn't have like banged out higher highs, but they're just not ready yet. I guess they're just going to. It's not time yet. They're waiting for a bigger catalyst to jump up on top of it and then come back. I really think they're going to 500, but I think they need to pull back and hit minor support first, and then I can see a trip up to 500 for SPY. So let's take a look at this. Is still in an uptrend. All right, trend indicator's green. Let's look at the 3/8 trap. We're closing under the 3/8 trap, but over the trend indicator. Actually, there's the 8 right there. So we're closing in the 3/8 trap and over the trend indicator, still in an uptrend, SPY. All right, so let's take a look at QQQ. And here's QQQ making a higher low. Of course, QQQ did not quite, did not make minor support down here. So QQQ produced a higher low, and now the pressure's on the bulls to produce that higher high. Still haven't done it yet. Looks like it's still cooking. All right, we're watching this to boil over and make that higher high. There's QQQ. Let's take a look at F and GU. All right, this is the one that moves the markets, especially QQQ and SPY. Come on, you can do it. Now, FNGU did some of the right stuff. You see that? See how I put this line in here? And the line touches the top over here. That's minor support. And you can see, and it comes down, hits this minor support line. And now we're bouncing up, looking for new highs up here. And of course, it's probably going to take some consolidation for a week or so, maybe more, and then bounce up. But let me just say, NVIDIA is looking good for the bullish MMRP on NVIDIA. So here's FNGU right there. So that's looking for this to consolidate for a week or so on FNGU. This is bullish, making the higher low. Just got to make that higher high. Let's see how close they got. See, they got real close to making that higher high. It might look like a triple top, but triple tops are bullish. And you can see price action closing just like the SPY inside the 3/8 trap there. And we can look at QQQ, see where it closed. See, now QQQ closed above the 3/8 trap, over the trend indicator, above the uptrend line. So there's QQQ. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Here's Diamond Dow closing again underneath the 3/8 trap. See, this is Friday's close, closing again, and you can see we've actually turned the trend indicator red here. So you've got a rollover here on Diamond Dow, where the 3 is crossing now underneath the 8. This is still bullish, all right? This is a move up, and it's bull flagging over to the right. Okay, so if we take the quad lines and put them in there, you can see we're way up at the top quadrant line of quadrant 4. I mean, there's nothing bearish about this until it breaks, well, this uptrend line right here. So it's got a whole lot of room to pull back. So this Diamond Dow is looking good. It's overdue for a pullback. I'd like to see it hit minor support, either here or here, and then work its way back up over the next 3 or 4 months, making new highs. But Diamond Dow has been setting new highs. Each one of these candles up here over the 3/8 trap is a new high, and it's been setting new highs like 2 days here. Here's a day, there's a day, there's another day they set a new high. So Diamond Dow has been looking good. Let's take a look at IWM. So this is the Russell 2000. Now you can see Russell 2000 making higher lows, higher highs. Higher lows, higher highs, consolidating, breakout, consolidate right here. Now we closed underneath this consolidation. That's in a downtrend. So making a lower low right here. See that lower low? So we're in a downtrend until we take out that high. All right, so you got a 3/8 cross. See the 3 crossing over the 8. So IWM's in a downtrend. FNGU is in an uptrend. We'll see if SPY can get this done, go up there and make new highs. But I think a pullback would be more promising than if it ran up there and snapped those highs this week or next week. I don't think it would be a strong snap. I think it would cause a violent pullback if it wasn't a strong snap on the SPY of those highs at 480. But anyways, here we got the IWM pulling back. So minor supports down here. You can see right around 187, 70, 187, around 187 down to 187, like 187.70 down to 186.5, right through there. It's minor support. So a pullback to minor support and maybe a bounce up over the next month or 2 months to come back up here and challenge these highs. Good news is the financials have been looking good recently, so we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of the financials, let's just go take a look at them right now. Here's a move up and then a bull flag over, all right? So financials, let's look at Friday's price action, okay? Friday's price action was, let's look at Thursday's price action. This is before the big boy earnings came out, okay? They were looking like a little profit taking was going on before the earnings came out. See that? Closing underneath the 3/8 trap, almost causing the cross. The next day did cause the cross. But you can see we came down here, spiked the trend indicator, and rose back up, but we could not close inside the 3/8 trap. So what we got on Thursday was a lower high and a lower low. On Monday, that's the day of the earnings, we got a higher high, and it opened up here and moved up and then came all the way back down. So we got a higher high and a higher low. But notice, again, we closed under the Thursday candle, which kind of speaks volumes about the XLF. Like, is this going to be some profit taking over the next week or so? So that could drag SPY down. So we could see that. Remember when I pointed that red arrow that went like this, and I was showing you the lower highs? This profit taking happening in the XLF could push SPY down to test those lows, test that minor support area we're really looking for it to do. So there's XLF, and you can see price action for today. All right, got a lower high and a lower low. All right, so you've got this consolidation flag. Let's just move this up, take that off, and move this up, snap it in there. Just want to snap that right in there to see where we are in relation to that low. Okay, so we still got a little bit more room to come down. So it's a pullback. We got a pause. So maybe good things are coming tomorrow. We'll see. Still like it's the pullback. Hit some minor support or support right through. You see the support? We got some support right through there. See where these highs come up and these lows come down? Well, we got a little bit of support right there. So maybe a pullback to this support and then back up to challenge these highs. That's a lot of consolidation there. This is December, let's say 15th, all the way to, well, that's a whole month. All right, that's January 15th. It's a whole lot of consolidation of going sideways. So I'm not giving up on this yet. I'd like to see the pullback and then a snap back real quick. But this is really looking good. It's been up here for about a month. Just still struggling to make those higher highs, but that doji candle looks promising tomorrow because it's green. We could see price break out over the top of that doji. We'll see what happens. That's XLF. Let's take a look at KRE. This is the regional banking sector. You can see now we've broken down below 50. All right, but you can see where are we testing minor support right over here. Okay, see that minor support right there. This is normal. Test minor support. Maybe some earnings come through for the KRE, regional banking sector, and then a possible, not that big. Let's try this one right here. A possible move down here. Find the support area, which is right through here. Okay, and then go back to the arrows, and then back up to make a higher high. That could help us out. If XLF could get back over that doji, that could help us out. So we'll see what happens here this coming week. If the financials, it's kind of all up to the financials and the IWM. So if we can get the IWM to turn around, I think the financials have. It doesn't look like the news is that bad because you didn't see a whole lot of like panic selling. You notice, it was just kind of still like, it's a bull flag. Okay, it's bad. It's not that bad though. So they're still kind of like sticking with it. So it doesn't seem like things are that bad in the investment banking sector. The KRE pulling back to minor support. Now we're going to look for this to start to move back up and challenge this high right here. All right, so we'll see what happens with KRE. Now take that off and back to IWM for a minute. Let's see how close we are with turning this around. Okay, so IWM looks like, I got to say, it looks like a couple more days down before we come into contact with minor support. And we probably won't get a bounce till the end of the month. That's what it's looking, the end of the week. I meant the end of the week. So we're looking for IWM to pull back to this support right through there. Still got a couple more days to pull back, and maybe we could spin this thing around. So you need this IWM, and we need the financials so the SPY can make some higher highs. But till that happens, I think SPY just kind of melts down, maybe comes down and does it itself, test that minor support. So we'll see what happens. So let's trash that. Let's go look at some of the other sectors. SMH. This is our semiconductors. Okay, so you saw semiconductors. They touched minor support, and now they're bouncing back up, and see how they're attacking those recent highs. See, that's exactly what we're looking for. Come back, hit that minor support, and go back up and attack those highs. So nice work on SMH, nice uptrend, higher low. Look at that. Got a bullish 3/8 cross there. I'm sure it's showing up on the 2-hour chart. Look at that right there. You can stay in that if you manage that on a 4. See how you jump in on the 2-hour. Right there, manage it on the 4, and you're still in this right now because you see that 3 never crossed the 8. Price came down to the 8 and spiked it, but that 3 still in there right there. Until you get the bearish engulfing, SMH looks promising for some upside. Spike out some new higher highs, maybe up to 180. Now these are the all-time highs for SMH, so it's doing quite well to come all the way up here, and do that on Friday, a higher high. That's not bad at all. Actually today, right? Yeah, today we got some new higher highs on SMH. So that's very bullish. And, tech always leads the way. So seeing the SMH ink out some new higher highs, that looks promising for SPY. If we could just get the financials, that doji candle for price action to break over the top of that doji that's just kind of hanging out at Trendicator on the XLF. So there's SMH. Let's take a look at IYT. Here's our transports. Okay, transports moving up, bull flag to the right. This is normal. We don't mind this. This is good. Consolidation, pull back to minor support is a good thing. You want them to put that foundation in. All right, so you can see we're still up in quadrant 4. We're just dealing with some prior highs over here. But IYT still looking like very good. Now here's the all-time highs up here. See that 284, and we got as high last year. And last year we got, I'm going to say last year meaning 2023 right there. So we got up to 266, and you saw those all-time highs 282. So they're working good. They're just looking good. They just need to consolidate here for maybe 2 or 3 months, and then they can run up there and start attacking those all-time highs over here that were placed in 2021 and 2022. That's all that medicine that was distributed right there. Medicine and all that other stuff. Transport's got a nice jump off of moving stuff around right there. So they became very important in the pandemic time. Notice that 2021, 2022, moving medicine around and moving supplies, because we had some supply shortages. So you can see how disaster kind of helped the market there with the pandemic. Nice recovery right there. Let's look over to the left, see if we got anything more. Just want to make sure that I'm talking about the all-time highs and we're speaking about them in the right context. Right there. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. All right, so there's IYT. So let's take a look at crude oil, USO. All right, so here's crude oil. And let me go to the daily chart. Still in a downtrend. Notice crude oil underneath this trend line right through here. Okay. All right, we closed up above it on Friday. And you can see we're back underneath this trend line right here. Okay, almost causing the bearish cross again. Notice price action closing below the 3/8 trap. We almost had a bullish cross right there, but they just couldn't hold it. Now let me just say, if these oil stocks get in gear, we got higher lows here. We got kind of a double bottom here and a higher double bottom here. We could see the market rally because these have been in a downtrend since, I'm just going to call it since mid-September, late September, 4 months, been in a downtrend, and just kind of, you can see that head and shoulders, left shoulder, right shoulder, head down right there. So USO, we got the double bottom here and a little higher double bottom here. If we could get this to pass through this downtrend line, things could be looking good for the markets there. That would really help it out. Also, seeing the energy sector return back to a bullish state, or at least in an uptrend for a little while. We'll see what happens. There's USO. UNG pulled back today again. All right, so here's UNG pulling back to the $5 level. It was consolidating between the high 6s and the low 6s up here. And now you can see it's pulling back. Let's look where the quad lines are. So almost back to the midpoint. Midpoint is, in fact, right about 569, and the low of today was 577. So there's a little bit of minor support there. We could see this J hook maybe sometime this week and start working its way up back towards quadrant 4 or back into the upper third. That would be nice. UNG. All right, so UNG higher low, higher highs, working out good. Like to see the next higher low, maybe right here at the midpoint, maybe right on top of that doji candle right there. That'd be a good spot right there, 550. All right, that would be a nice bounce area if we could pick some up at 550 and take it up to 6 and 650. That would be nice. So there's UNG in an uptrend. Of course, the cold months are coming. So we'll see how that's doing. That's still in an uptrend. Just having a pullback now. Closing below the 3/8 trap, but above trend indicator right there. That's UNG. Silver. All right, silver in a downtrend. All right, we got lower highs and we inked out lower lows. They didn't hold them, but they got a lower low right here. Okay, so silver closing below the bearish 3/8 trap, below the bearish trend indicator, okay, below the downtrend line, right through there, okay. Silver's in a downtrend. Look for this to kind of consolidate here. Almost getting a bearish head and shoulders showing up. Look for this to consolidate and then move back up through this downtrend line. And we'll take a look at gold. All right, and here's gold. Still consolidating in bull flag pattern. Now look at gold making a higher low and making a higher high and making another higher low and making a higher high. That's what we want. We want to see price action on the bigger time frame making higher lows and higher highs. Like to see that on the smaller time frame too, but as long as the big action and the trend is moving up, that's what we're looking for. All right, so gold, we got the bearish 3/8 cross here. Friday's price action was a higher low, higher high. And of course, Monday's price action is lower high, lower low. And closing below the bearish 3/8 trap and below trend indicator. So nothing really working out, just a little bit of consolidation going on here in gold. And if you draw this in, you can kind of see, if I get the square going, come on square, right through there. You got some decent consolidation. You can see the majority of the price action is right through there. You can see we dip down to make that higher low, and then we climb back right back into this price action. So this is still very much bullish. All right, so what caused the dip today? Let's just take a peek at that because you're going to want to know what's going on. All right, so here's US dollar index. Okay, July lows. Okay, it's the October highs. Failure to make a higher high in November, right there. And then price action came all the way down to the flat 200, kind of consolidated. Then we broke the rubber band candle. That's this one right here. I got my cursor on. After we consolidated for a week, see that? Came down, made the rubber band candle, consolidated in a bear flag for a week. Like I say, you hang out here too long and you're going to get a breakdown. And of course, you got, looks like a measured move from the flat 200 down to the major support right here. See the major support? That's these bullish engulfing or these tails right through here. Came into these tails, major support, and rallied back up to the uptrend line right where the bear flag was consolidating. And now we got a bull flag that consolidated here for 9 days. All right. And like I say, you hang out here too long in a bull flag pattern and you're going to get a pop. And that's what we got today, right up to the flat 200. So we'll see how it deals with it tomorrow. I'll bet it's either going to be an inside day or a doji. I'll be surprised if we spike through. But it might happen. I have to take that in consideration. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. So today's dip is courtesy of the US dollar. Right there. Economic calendar. Really a light calendar. Right here. See, nothing really notable. Got some Fed speakers. But not the big guy. Okay. Not the big guy. The big guy's not speaking yet. And they might throw him on the schedule. We'll see what happens, all right? earnings calendar, nothing but mostly all banks reporting. Here's Stanley, here's Sachs, PNC, Hancock, Fulton, just a whole lot of financials. Charles Schwab, U.S. Bank, Citizens, Wintrust, Community Trust, Bancorp. See, there's nothing but banks this week. So this is going to affect the XLF and the KRE. So, but nothing really come out says, oh, you need to buy this. Truist, see another one, M&T, First Horizon. They're still around. They're strange. All right. Anyways, that's it. All right. So I'll see everybody tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Thanks for being here. It's kind of a long wrap up. I'm going to be on the agenda for the class tonight at 8 p.m. I'm going to fill in for Doug. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I'll figure it out when we get there. I'll let you know at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise to me, too, because I don't even know what it's going to be. Might be just on trends on the flagship trade, which is our 10-minute downtrend. That might be it. We'll see what happens. All right? Thanks for being here today. Everybody have a wonderful evening.